I think I'm broke. Yeah, I'm broke. Yeah, ain't nobody yet know that I was broken. I said that I'm broke. Yeah, I'm broken. And nobody yet know that I was broken. I said that I'm paid without. I don't really know what life's about. Sometimes I just want to scream and shout. Scrolling on the phone when on the couch. Sometimes I feel like existence is pressure. Sometimes I feel like I'll never get better. Sometimes I feel like I'll never live up to expectations that my mama had measured. These are my stresses, my mental is reckless. Trying to keep it connected like a nexus. Trying to do it big like I am from Texas. Trying to remember the Lord's really blessed us. I know that it's real though. But sometimes I just feel low. And when your mind's on E, how far you really think you gon' go? Yo, this life gives you lessons, but sometimes it's hectic. It makes you a skeptic. Sometimes I feel like I'm drowning. All my roots losing grounding. All this pain that's surrounding. But still I gotta get about it. Sometimes I feel like I'm drowning. All my roots losing grounding. All this pain that's surrounding. But still I gotta get about it. Sometimes I feel like I'm drowning. All my roots losing grounding. All this pain that's surrounding. But still I gotta get about it. Let's go. Sometimes I feel like I'm drowning. All my roots losing grounding. All this pain that's surrounding. But still I gotta get about it. I'm broken. Ain't nobody yet know that I was broken. I said that I'm broken. Yeah, I'm broken. And nobody yet knows that I was broken. I said that I'm broke. I don't know what to do with all of this pressure. All I know is this pain and all of this stress. So much of my life has been so depressed that I was broke. But I know what.
Whole sports all plays. Yeah. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we're making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. Sport all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Whole sports all plays.
I put that on the set. I put that on the set. I put that on the set. Hey, boy, you got legs. I put that on the set. I put that on the set. I put that on the set. I put that. I put that. I put that.
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Anybody is Playing for here. Wednesday, September 28, 2022. Pretty good slate of baseball games today. We'll talk about break down the big NFL Thursday night football game tomorrow. I think it's a real, as you were just saying, a real important game for the Bengals. No, should be a great game tomorrow night. We'll talk about that. But I thank everybody for joining. Joined with me by always my dad, Tony Gonzalez. But before we get started, if you enjoyed that song during the 3-minute pre-show countdown, and the song that was just on, was "On the Set" by Con Rome, and then the first song was "Broken." It's also by Con Rome. Great guy. Is putting out some great content. Go check his music out at Spotify and on Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music. You can find him all over the place. Go give him some support, and we appreciate him letting us use some of his music for the show. Uh, but no, but no doubt. Well, before we get into baseball, let's go ahead and let's talk Thursday night football first. It's an important game for the Bengals.
They must win. I just seen their schedule for the last half of the season, last 5 or 6 games. They got New England, but other than that, they've got Tampa Bay, they've got Baltimore, they've got super tough schedule. I mean, they got Buffalo on the last 6 games. They've got Tampa Bay, they've got they're going to have to go on a run now and plus win some of those games at the end if they want to make the playoffs. So they're going to be in trouble. But I honestly, I think they're going to beat Miami.
Yeah, I do too. On the show this morning, the afternoon show that I was just on, we talked about the game a little bit. I like the Bengals here, and one of the reasons I like them is they're at home. They're at home, and their biggest problem has been the offensive line. It's supposed to be a revamped offensive line, so you got some new pieces on that offensive line. So it's going to take a little bit for them to gel. So I would think the offensive line would get a little bit better as the season goes on, kind of like what I'm hoping with on the Colts. But if it doesn't, that's what's going to kill the Bengals. It's not talent wise. They have if you look at their team on paper, they have a talented team. But your Jamar Chase and Burrow can't connect if Burrow don't have a chance to even look downfield.
People are going to be pissed off when I say this. But, Chris, Miami's 3-0. Not taking anything away from them. But the bottom line is they're 3-0 because Baltimore beat themselves. And the last game they had with Buffalo.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that as much Miami beat them as they beat themselves. Both those games. But hey, bottom line is they are 3-0. But you're not going to be lucky like that every game. It's not going to happen all the time. And they're going to have to play better defense. If they don't play better defense, Miami will start losing games. So the defense has got to get better. And you're not going to have teams collapse and let you get 4 touchdowns in the fourth quarter all the time. You're not going to have a team put 550 yards on you and only score 19 points all the time. So you got to play better. I mean, bottom line is 3-0, so you can't take that away from them. But if they don't,
I think people are jumping on the Dolphin train a little too quick.
I do too.
Yeah, they've won games. That's the goal is to win games.
Yeah,
but all these people want to talk about, Tua's killing it. Tua had one. He had actually a great fourth quarter. That's what he had. A great fourth, and you can't take that away from him. If you look at the other games, against the Bills, he had what 185. He had 185 total yards passing. But people want to talk about how great Tua is. But then we want to say Lamar Jackson can't throw the football. Lamar Jackson had over 200 yards throwing the football Saturday and 100 yards on the ground. Everybody wants to be high on Tua, and a lot of people low on Jackson.
And I know he had a good fourth quarter. A lot of people will say great.
Baltimore collapsed. Bottom line.
Yeah, they collapsed. I mean, you go back and watch the highlights of those touchdowns. There was nobody even close to those receivers.
Yeah. Another one guy let I think it was Hill. Is either Hill or Waddle? He just let him run right by him. He thought he had safety help, and there wasn't no safety back there.
He was open 20 yards. You could have threw it. You could have threw the touchdown. I mean, but the bottom line is, like I said, Miami is 3-0, but they're going to have to play better if they're going to continue to win. If they don't play better, it's going to catch up to them. It's going to happen. It's the NFL.
Yeah. The line for the game is right now on FanDuel, Bengals -3.5. And minus 200 on the money line. The Dolphins are plus 168 on the money line.
And that tells you something.
Over under is 46.5.
That tells you something. That is the Bengals to play. They're 3.5 point favorite.
Yeah.
But, I mean, a lot of people are not. I mean, are seeing.
Yeah. Yeah. I see on the Southern Sportsbook they have the Bengals as 4-point favorites. If you like the Bengals, I'd get them now because I would say this is just me. I think the Bengals might go to 4.5 across a lot of these sports books. So if you can get at 3.5 now, I'll go ahead and get it if you like the Bengals. I like the Bengals. The Bengals defense does scare me a little bit, just because you got to keep Waddle and Hill in front of you. You keep them guys in front of you. Dolphins haven't showed that they can drive the ball down the field play after play after play without hitting that deep play. If I'm Cincinnati, jumping that too deep safety, keep hey Pablo, keep everything in front, of you. And if you do that, you keep everything in front of you, you're gonna have a chance to have a lot of success. But yeah, now if you got them receivers just run wide open behind you, it's gonna be a long day.
Well, the key is
And the Dolphins defense, and they play well. I say they played good against the Bills, but they gave up all kinds of yards. But they played good in the red zone and didn't give up some points.
they made a couple of plays in the red zone. Also, the Bills shot their stuff on the foot a couple of times too. But the key for Cincinnati's offense,
Yep.
If they protect him, I think they can exploit the Miami defense. I really do. Bengals have got a lot of weapons. I would say they've got as many weapons as Buffalo's got. Maybe better because I think they got a better running game in Buffalo.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think Mixon's been running the ball a lot better than what Singletary has. But no, I like the Bengals. Like I said, I'll give out my official pick for this game tomorrow. But wanted to talk about a little bit because it is a big game. I mean, it's a big game for the Bengals with their upcoming schedule. They need this game. I mean, if you look at two of his numbers, he's 72 for 101 with 925 yards and 8 touchdowns. I'm gonna look up Lamar's numbers so I can compare them to Jay after yesterday. I know Lamar has 10 throwing passing touchdowns, so I know he has a couple more touchdowns. I would say he probably has more yards as well. Because in that Miami game, everybody's talking about how great Tua played, but he played great in that fourth quarter. If Baltimore don't have that total collapse in the fourth quarter, everybody went talking about how great Lamar Jackson played in that game. He threw for over 300 yards and like 3 or 4 touchdowns in that game as well. So it's not like the Dolphins' defense all season has been a shutdown defense. So I think the Bengals' offense gets going. I'm going. I like the Bengals right now to -3.5. Like I said, we'll get a little more. We'll give our official pick tomorrow. Jump over here to college football for a minute. We have one game on tomorrow night. We'll give out a pick for that tomorrow as well. And you have a few games on Friday, which we'll talk about those games tomorrow. But we'll give out our official picks on Friday on those because on Friday we'll be breaking down a lot of the NFL games. We'll get to college. We'll talk college football tomorrow. But one game we do have that is tomorrow night. Utah State at BYU. BYU's a 24.5 point favorite, -4,000 on the money line. Utah State's plus 1,400 on the money line. Over under is 59.5. I like BYU to win this game. 24.5 points, a lot of points. I do think they'll probably cover it. And one thing is BYU. One advantage they have is they usually have an older, experienced team because most of their guys go to school for 4 years, and a lot of them when they start college, I think because they go on being a lot of them are Mormon and they go on their missions or whatever. So some of them start college a year or two later than what they normally would. So they're even a little bit older that way as well. So, and I think that really helps them, especially when they're playing some of the smaller schools. I think they can use that to their advantage because you have experience. When you have guys that are most of your team's 4-year players, them teams can build camaraderie. Them guys are together a lot longer than a lot of these other teams that guys are transferring all the time and stuff. So I like BYU to win this game. I'll give out my official pick tomorrow whether I'm going to go with the 24.5 points. I want to do a little more research into the game before I decide if I want to give up that many points. But I've watched a little bit of BYU this year, and they're not a bad football team. Let's move over to Major League Baseball because that's the sport we have some games in tonight. My baseball picks yesterday were 3 and 2. I had the Red Sox, Cardinals, and Giants all won. And then I had the Guardians lose and the Mariners lose. Guardians was on a a 4 or 5 game win streak, and then lost yesterday to break the win streak. The Mariners didn't play very well at all yesterday. So my baseball picks were 3-2 yesterday. Not a bad day, but we'll see if we can have a little bit better day today. First game we're going to have. Give me just 1 second. I get it back pulled up over here as well. But first game's going to be Tampa Bay Rays at the Cleveland Guardians. Guardians are -1.5 on the. Guardians are 1.5 point run favorites, -132 on the money line. The Rays are +112 underdogs on the road. Over under for this game's at 6.5. You have Glasnow on the mound for the Rays, McKenzie on the mound for the Guardians. I like the Guardians in this game. I know the Rays beat them yesterday. We got Guardians with McKenzie on the mound. He's 11-11 on the season with a 3.04 ERA. So he hasn't had a bad season. If you have an ERA of 3, to me, that's a pretty good season, especially pitching as much as he has. I mean, right there's 11-11. That's 22 starts. So, I mean, when you're pitching that much to only have a 3, and he's probably pitched more too. But you know what I mean. But so starting that much and getting used that much, I think a 3-run ERA is not that bad. And the reason I like the Guardians in this game, I know the Rays beat them yesterday, but Rays have Glasnow on the mound. He hasn't pitched at all or very much this season. So to me, I don't think he's going to be in the game real long. I think it's going to be more of a bullpen game for the Rays. And with McKenzie starting for the Guardians, I like the Guardians in this game. Both these teams have real similar records. The Guardians are 86-68. The Rays are 85-69. So I mean, these are going to be 2 playoff teams in the American League. So I think it'll be another real good game. But I'm gonna go again with the Guardians. I did yesterday. It cost me, but I think they get to win today.
Let me ask you a question about the Guardians. I remember correctly. I think they're a threat. I mean, I know they don't have the records of the Yankees or the Astros, but you get into the playoffs, and
I don't think if their pitchers would have to get real hot. I don't think they have the pitching to be able to compete in a 7-game series with somebody match up with some of the pitching that these other teams can throw out there at you. But we've seen teams that get hot and that don't have the big name pitchers. And, hey, when them pitchers sometimes step up in the playoffs. So I mean, I wouldn't count them completely out, but they're not a team that I would consider a big threat. Then next game is the Royals at the Tigers. Tigers are 1.5 run favorites, -142 on the money line. The Royals are +120 on the money line. Over under is at 7.5 in this game. On the mound for the Royals will be Lynch. On the mound for the Tigers is Manning. Lynch has a 4-11 record with a 5.06 ERA. Manning is 2-3 on the season with a 3.43 ERA. If I was going to bet on this game, I would go with the Tigers at -142 on the money line. They have the better pitcher on the mound, and they're at home. This is not one of the game. Well, we'll go through the games and I'll give out my picks. But I like the Tigers here on the money line because they're at home, and I think they have the better pitcher on the mound. Then you have the Braves at the Nationals. I think this game. I think the Braves are going to win this game. I like the Braves here. They're pretty big. They're not real huge favorites, but you get a little better value if you take them on the run line.
Question about the Braves, real quick. Braves and the Mets right now are both tied 97-50. Who's going to win the division? Most going to be in the playoffs. But who do you think's going to win?
I think the Braves might win the division. And the reason I say that is because I've been on the Mets to go World Series all season, and I'm sticking with that pick. But the reason I think the Braves might win the division is Scherzer's out right now for the Mets. They're missing one of their best pitchers right now. I don't know if he'll come back. To me, they might rest him until the playoffs, try to make sure he's completely healthy. You know, I mean, so I don't know how much he's going if he does come back at all these last few games. So that's what makes me lean toward the Braves, and that's also without me looking at their schedule and seeing who they played the last few games. But with not having Scherzer, that's what really scares me a little bit about the Mets. Yeah, and just injuries scare me about the Mets. If they're healthy, man, I think they're one of the best teams in the league. But they need Scherzer. You need to have that Scherzer and DeGrom. So when you throw Scherzer and DeGrom out there, basically twice in a 7-game series, that's what I mean. That makes it rough on their team. And then you have a Walker that's pretty solid. You can use as another starter, and Bassett. Actually, Bassett's ahead of Walker. You have Bassett and Walker as your other starters. Walker hasn't been pitching real strong here the last couple of weeks, but if you get DeGrom and Scherzer, and then if Bassett shows up and pitches a good game, man, you could be in a lot of trouble because then you're going to be seeing DeGrom or Scherzer again. I mean, you can see both of them twice in this. Yeah. So that's why I think where the Mets can have an advantage, but they need Scherzer, they need DeGrom and Scherzer both to be healthy. DeGrom missed a little bit at the beginning of the season. He's been good since. Now they need to get Scherzer healthy. But the Braves are 1.5 run favorites. They're minus 215 on the money line on the road. Nationals are plus 180 underdogs at home. Over-unders at 8.5 in this game. I like the Braves in this game a lot. The Braves have Odorizzi on the mound. On the mound for the Nationals is Gray. Braves have been playing pretty solid baseball. It's been funny when you mentioned the Braves and Mets because either one of them has been able to take a hold on the division because they've been losing on the same day and then winning on the same day. So nobody's been able to really break loose.
Well, what's left only about 6, 7, 8 games?
Yeah, I think they want to have about a week left, and then
probably around
in the
Sunday, Monday.
Yeah, something like that. And it's about ready for some playoff baseball, which I'm excited for. Yeah. So I like the Braves here. Personally, I would take the Braves on the minus 1.5 because you get it at the minus 128 juice, so you're getting better odds. Yeah, you're giving up a run and a half, but money line's minus 215. Now, if I was going to do like maybe a money line parlay, I would you could throw the Braves in there at minus 215. If you're just betting a single game, it just depends on, I mean, how confident you are in the Braves.
I wish he was around in.
What's up, Mike Hughes?
I wish he was around in the 70s because I can remember as a little boy running home from school as fast as I could because they played a lot of afternoon games. Well, I can remember even World Series, and I can remember Baltimore and Pittsburgh playing in the World Series, probably 1971, 72, somewhere along those. I can remember running home as fast as I could because I knew the game started like at 2:45, 2:15, something like that. I got out of school, 2:30 or something like that. And I still can remember that. It was really cool. Baseball was really big.
Yeah, people don't realize how big baseball used to be. It's not near as big now as it used to be.
Baseball was bigger than basketball and football in the 70s.
And then it's never got back to that since the strike.
No. And the NBA and NFL did a lot better job of marketing. And it's a faster game, and baseball's really good in the stadiums. It's harder to watch on TV.
Except in the playoffs. I think we get playoff time,
I think there's too many games.
I think when you get in the playoff time, man, to me, that's one of the best things to watch on TV.
If you cut the baseball season down to 120 games, I think they're a lot better.
Like Hughes says, "Hey Pops, hey Goni." Well, Mike, so yeah, I like the Braves. Their next game is the Yankees and the Blue Jays, and everybody has their eyes on this game for a few reasons. One, these are two of the better teams in the American League, especially in the second half. Blue Jays have really started playing up to their ability, what everybody thought they would be here in the second half of the season. I know Stat Guy, he picked them to be in the World Series from the very beginning of the season. He's been on the baseball show with me, and he's stuck by that pick. But the Blue Jays the Yankees are actually 1.5 from favorites in this game, and minus 130 on the money line. Blue Jays are plus 110 on the money line at home, as the Blue Jays are underdogs at home. Over-unders at 7.5. Blue Jays are underdogs at home because you have Garrett Cole on the mound for the Yankees at 12-7, with a 3.49 ERA. And for the Blue Jays, you're going to have White on the mound. He's 1-6 on the season with a 5.12 ERA. So Yankees have the pitching advantage. I like the Yankees on the money line night with Garrett Cole on the mound. Other reason everybody's watching this game is everybody's still watching Judge. He's still at 60. And I hate to say it, but I think the longer this home run thing goes of trying to get to 62, I think it hurts his chances on getting the Triple Crown.
Yeah.
Because he hears all the outside noise. He's starting to press at the plate, and I think that's some pressure on him that once he gets that off his back, he'll play a lot freer, a lot freer. Plus, he's not getting pitches to hit right now, and everybody wants to say, "Oh, these teams shouldn't walk him." Well, let me tell you guys this because I heard, and I'm not going to steal his take, but when he said it today, it like clicked in my head like boom. It was Dan Patrick talking about, well, if the players behind Judge, Rizzo, and them guys were hitting the ball, then they wouldn't walk Judge. He put out a stat. It was like the Yankees are like 4 or 5 and 5 for the last 50. The 3 players after Judge combined here over the last week or so. So why the hell would you pitch the Judge if you know what I mean in certain situations in a runner on if the guys behind him haven't been hitting, you're going to take that chance. If them guys were hitting the ball, it'd make it a lot harder for the teams to walk them. And that was something I hadn't really thought of. But when I was in the car earlier I was listening to Dan Patrick, and he said that. I was like, yeah, that's right. Because if them guys were hitting it, then you think twice about walking. When them guys aren't hitting, it's like, yeah, walk them. Why let him beat us? And I would like to see him get the Triple Crown because you don't. I mean, it's been like 10, 12 years since we've seen somebody do. You don't see it often yet. So it'd be cool to see. But I do. I think the longer this home run thing goes on, it lessens his chances to be able to get that Triple Crown. Because batting average is the one he has to get. He's locked up the RBIs and home runs. And it's batting average, and he's right there. But it's hard to maintain that batting average when you're not getting to swing in a lot of pitches. You know what I mean? And walks don't affect your average. So, I mean, at least that don't hurt them, but it don't help either because you're not going to raise your average if you can't hit the ball.
Yeah.
And if you're not seeing pitches. Marlins at the Mets is the game after this. Mets are 1.5 run favorites at home, minus 196 on the money line. Wrong, but all I wanted to do was scroll down. And then the Marlins are plus 164 on the money line, over under 7. On the mound for the Mets, you have Walker. On the mound for the Marlins is going to be Sardo. I think this will be a good game. I like the Mets in this game. I think Walker will have a good start. He's had a good season. His last couple of starts haven't been great. I think he gets back on track. I like the Mets at home. Walker is 12-5 on the season with a 3.53 ERA. So he's been solid most of the season. Like I said, last couple of starts he's had a couple of struggles, but you're going to have that now and then. But if he can get that corrected before the playoffs, the Mets will be tough. Then Luzardo is 3-7 with 3.57 ERA. So Luzardo hasn't pitched bad either. I mean, you're at 3.5, basically 3.5 ERA. So I like the Mets in this game on the money line. On the money line. After that game, you got the Orioles at the Red Sox. Red Sox are 1.5 run favorites, minus 134 on the money line. Orioles are plus 114 on the money line. Over under is at 9. On the mound for the Orioles is Clemmer, and you have Hill on the mound for the Red Sox. I like the Red Sox at home in this game. I mean, when you're at home, the Orioles had a good season, but they'll come up short for making the playoffs. I think the Red Sox were the better team, and I like the Red Sox at home. Phillies at the Cubs. Phillies are 1.5 run favorites on the road, minus 194 on the money line. Cubs are plus 162 on the money line. Over under 6.5. Phillies are going to have Nola on the mound. Cubs have Winchesky on the mound. I favor the Phillies in this game. At minus 194, I'd put it in probably maybe a parlay. Cardinals at the Brewers. These two teams have been battling. This was a battle for the division, but the Cardinals have been. And I'll tell you what, Cardinals is a team that I think is a threat to playoffs. That some people are overlooking, and they always play good at this time of year. So I like the Cardinals, and actually I like the Cardinals here on the money line. I know Woodruff's on the mound for the Brewers. To get the Cards at plus money at plus 130, I, I think that's good value. I like how the Cardinals have been playing, so I'm going to go. Cardinals picked up a win yesterday over the Brewers. I look for the Cardinals to do it again today. I'm gonna go with. I like the Cardinals on the money line in that game.
The Cardinals are a dangerous team. I mean, they've got a lot of experienced players. Been there, they play playoff baseball, World Series baseball. It could be a very dangerous team.
And I heard today Tony Lewis is gone.
Oh,
White Sox are playing the Twins tonight. White Sox are 1.5 run favorites on the road, minus 106 on the money line. The Twins are minus 110 on the money line. Over under for this game is at 7.5 runs. White Sox are going to have Johnny Cueto on the mound. And then the Twins are going to have
Cueto ain't had a bad year.
Winder on the mound. No, Cueto's had a good year. White Sox as a team has had a real disappointing year. I mean, a lot of people had expectations in being in the playoffs.
What do you think about Mr. being gone?
I think it could be a good thing. I just think.
What do you think went wrong? In your opinion?
I think they had some injuries. And I think some decisions that La Russa made at the beginning of the year, some of the questionable stuff he'd done at the beginning of the year, I don't think that team just ever gelled like they thought they would. La Russa's a great manager, but I think times was just so different. And I think the age gap, age gap could hurt you some.
Yeah, I wish the Reds would go out and get a manager like La Russa.
Or like Mattingly.
Mattingly or somebody experienced.
Yeah.
Since you're such a young team and going to be a young team.
I'll tell you who I'd like the Reds to go get Joe Girardi. I know the Phillies got rid of him and didn't go great there, but I think the dude's a good manager. He's done a good job with the Yankees. I think an experienced manager like him would be great for the Reds.
I think that's what they need to do. I really do.
Don't bring another pitching coach up off of your staff to be your next coach. If you're going to change coaches, go after somebody. That's why I didn't like last time when they done it. If you were just going to go up, you should just left the manager there. It wasn't like to me, it wasn't a big upgrade. I mean, if you're going to get rid of somebody, you want to bring the upgrade.
When we had somebody like Dusty Baker, and I know he's got some flack, but we had competitive teams.
We didn't win a World Series, but we were competitive.
We were competitive. So, I mean, we need to get somebody.
We're in the playoffs.
At opportunities. So, I mean, that's what we want to get back to at the very least. And I think they need to go out, especially since such a young team. You need that experienced management.
Or even a guy like Joe Madden. I'd be happy with the Joe Madden.
Like I said, Mattingly, Madden, Girardi, any of those guys.
I like the White Sox to win this game though because Cueto's on the mound. Cueto's had a solid season. Dodgers at the Padres tonight. Dodgers have Urias on the mound. Padres have Musgrove. Dodgers are minus 146 favorites on the road. Padres are plus 124 underdogs at home. Over under 7.5. I like the Dodgers in this game. Dodgers have been playing good baseball.
They beat up on the Padres.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much beating up on them. You're right. Beat up on the Padres. Mariners and Rangers. Mariners need a big win here. So I'm going with the Mariners again, like I did yesterday, because they're still playing for something. Rangers aren't. I know it didn't work out yesterday, but with Kirby on the mound tonight for the Mariners, I think the Mariners are going to get back to their winning ways. They've had a good season. They're on the verge of making the playoffs for the first time in over 20 years. And they got some young talent on that team, and they got a pitching staff. Adding Luis Castillo was a great move for them. And now they were able to lock him in for years. They signed him to a big 3-4 year deal, and then there's also like a 5th year option for a pretty good amount of money on that contract as well. So glad to see Castillo get paid. I love Luis Castillo. Dude's an awesome player. Yeah. I hated that the Reds got rid of him. I was glad to see him get that extension because he used to be one of the best pitchers in baseball this year. Especially the first half of the season.
His record don't show up. I mean, you look at his record, you go, so best. If you look at his earned run average and his innings and everything, yeah, he's definitely a top 10 pitcher, and I don't even start on that.
And then you have Rockies at the Giants. Giants are 1.5 run favorites. I like the Giants here. Rockies don't play good on the road. If you're going to take the Giants, I'd take them at the -1.5. They're -220 on the money line. Unless you're going to do a parlay or something, but you can get a -1.5. You get -102 juice. That's pretty good.
I know they're in a tough division. Don't you think the Giants is kind of a disappointment?
Yeah, yeah. I thought the Giants would be better this year than what they've been. And one of the reasons I like the Giants tonight too is Rodon's on the mound. Dude, he's tough. I really like the Giants there. That's today's slate of baseball. Pretty big slate of baseball games, and as we close out the regular season here, so it's not going to be too long. We have some playoff baseball. There's going to be some good playoff matchups. Man, we'll see some close games. The Reds went to extra innings today. I didn't see the end of the game while I was finishing up a show, but I know it was tied 3-3. Reds were down 3-0 most of the game and made a comeback. In like the eighth inning, tied the game. Eighth inning, top of the ninth, tied the game up. And then it was in the 10th inning last time I looked. After they got their butts whooped by the Pirates yesterday, they did play better today. I can't remember even who started now.
Reds lost.
All that game was played in the rain too. It was raining most of a lot of that game. They kept playing 4-3 in extra innings. And damn rule probably helped. I hate that rule, putting a guy on second base. I think that rule is stupid.
Are they doing away with that?
Well, they're doing it in the playoffs.
Okay. Well, I knew in the playoffs. I thought they were going to do away with that.
They might do. I don't know if they're doing away with it in the regular season next year or not. They might. I know it's not like that in the playoffs this year. Which I hate that rule. If you want, I don't think you need to give anybody an advantage anyway. But if you want to do that, you want to put a runner on, put him on first base.
Yes, put him on first base, make him steal, make him do something.
Because if you're putting him on second, you're already putting a runner in scoring position. That's a big advantage for the offense. Or if you're runner on first, it's still an advantage for the offense, but then also the double play can factor in. So then that can give the defense something that can take away that advantage. When the runner's on second, the defense is at a complete disadvantage, and you know what I mean. So I think if you're going to put a runner, put him on first base.
Yeah, and put some coaching into it because you can sacrifice.
Yeah, you might see some stuff from old school baseball come back, and it would be
the old school baseball when you had the bunts and the steals
and base hits.
Yeah,
it don't have to be. Now it's all home run or strikeout for the most part.
I was very fortunate growing up. I got to go to a lot of baseball games, see a lot of great players in the 70s and the 80s. So I was very fortunate. Got to see a lot of great Willie Stargell, Vinny Stena, and Roberto Clemente, and Johnny Bench, and Pete Rose, and all those. I got to see a lot of great players. George Foster, when he wasn't even on the Reds, he was on the Giants before he became to the Reds. I got to see
I'd love to got to see some of them.
I seen Joe Morgan play.
I seen Pete Rose like on TV and stuff.
I seen Joe Morgan play for the Astros before he got traded to the Reds. I mean, and played for the Reds also. So I got to see a lot of great players.
I was young when Pete Rose was still playing, so I remember. But yeah, I'd love to see Johnny Bench play. Johnny Bench is another guy that I think people don't talk about him enough either. He probably could be possibly best catcher to play the game. I mean, he was
the way he hit the ball too and everything.
You have to put him right up there as one of the best catchers. And dude's hands are about as big as a damn catcher's glove. I mean,
and Rose, one of the greatest players of all time,
too.
Whether
he won't get the respect because it's off-field stuff.
Whether you like him or not,
Yeah, there's off-field stuff. He won't get the respect he deserves. I mean, dude has the most hits in baseball, and just the way he played the game, he played 110% all the time. You don't see players do that for a whole season. And he didn't take games off. He was on. Unless he was like hurt, but if he played, he was giving 100% all the time. He wasn't going to play a game and not give 100%. That's why I like him so much. That's why he's my favorite player because of that. To me, that's how the game should be played. But we'll get to my picks of the day. I'm going with the Guardians again. They lost yesterday. They were on a 4-game win streak. They have the better pitcher on the mound tonight. I like the Guardians on the money line. I'm going to go with the Braves over the Washington Nationals at -1.5. You get that -132 juice. I like the Braves here. They have the better pitcher on the mound, and they're the better team. Washington's just not a very good team right now. They've traded away. They're kind of like the Reds right now. And I also like the Yankees on the money line. I know they're on the road with Garrett Cole on the mound. I like the Yankees pick up a win tonight. I look for Aaron Judge to get at least one home run. I think he'll tie the record tonight. I think he'll get to 61 tonight. I don't think he'll get 62 tonight, but I think he's going to finally break this 6-7 game drought of a home run and at least tie the record tonight. And then I like the New York Mets on the money line against the Miami Marlins. Walker's been pitching, hasn't been pitching great, but the last couple starts didn't look great. But I think he gets back on track. And then my last pick today is going to be the St. Louis Cardinals on the money line against the Brewers. I just like the way the Cardinals have been playing, and they're a team that always gets hot. They're always hot this time of year. So to recap, my picks are the Guardians money line, Braves -1.5, Yankees money line, Mets money line, and the Cardinals money line. My picks in baseball went 3-2 yesterday. That's not a bad day, but hopefully we'll have a little bit better day today. I'd like to get all 5 right is the goal. And like I said, tomorrow on Easy Money, we will talk college football. We'll take a look at some of the college football games, and we'll also give out our official pick for the Thursday night football game tomorrow night with the Bengals and the Dolphins. Join us for that. Also tonight we'll have a big show at 7 p.m. Eastern as we have the Ladies Man Mike King and Jason McGraw, Ladies Man Mike King from ECCW and Jason McGraw from the J County Fair will be joining us to talk about the big wrestling show coming up this weekend, Cornfield Carnage. It's going to be a great show featuring WWE Hall of Famer, WWE Hardcore legend Mick Foley. You know him as Mankind, Cactus Jack, Dude Love, one of the best ever. One of the best ever do it. One of the best guys that's ever been in the business, in my opinion.
The best performers, one of the best entertainers. Fantastic. Put his body on the line.
He'll be making an appearance there. And then we also have WWE legend, the Boogeyman, will be there. He'll be in action wrestling a match. It'll be good. We got to see him almost a year ago at a show. He's awesome. He's great with the crowd. It should be a great time. Then you got a lot of independent talent, great independent talent on this card. So join us Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern, live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch at Gonzo Sports Room. Also live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch at the All Sports All Plays Network. So come join us for a night of wrestling Saturday night. If you're in the Indiana area and you can get to Portland, Indiana, come watch it live with us. We want to see this place packed. Like I said, if you're out of state or if you just can't make it for some reason, check it out with us at Gonzo Sports Room and at the All Sports All Plays Network, 7 p.m. Eastern, Saturday, October 1st. You don't want to miss that. We got some big interviews coming up that we're getting lined up. So be on the lookout for graphics about that. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on YouTube at Gonzo Sports Room. Also hit the subscribe button on the All Sports All Plays Network on YouTube as well. Like and follow both networks on Facebook. We greatly appreciate it. Twitch, social media. That's where I post everything about our Gonzo Sports Room shows. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Go check us out at Gonzo Sports Room. All Sports All Plays, same way. You can find out information on the website, allsportsallplays.network.com, or you can find it on the All Sports All Plays Network Facebook as well, Twitter. They're on all the social media as well. But I want to thank everybody for joining us. We will see you guys tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern, for another episode of Easy Money, a sports betting show. Also, don't forget to go check out Conrome on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music. Go support them. We played a couple of songs earlier. I'm going to close out the show with playing On the Set, which is one of the songs off his EP that just came out, Art of the Real. Go check him out. Dude's a talented guy, and he's putting out some good music, and we greatly appreciate that we've been able to work with him. Everybody have a great evening, and we will see you guys tomorrow.
Hit the next level, hard on the bass. demons, they follow me deep in the dirt. Got problems with taking a loss. You take a few L's where you get to be boss. They get a few real ones to ride for the cause. That for my family, I'm walking that wall. My mouth never closed, dog, I'm talking that talk. Passing respect, it all comes from the heart. Be there for the ones that was there from the start. Woo, woo, this is the one. Don't count the family out yet, cause now we ain't done. And we don't want some, we want the lump sum.